Hello Grassy friends, I'm Lien from Studio Gato and I'm so happy you're joining me again today. Today I have a fun little card for Reverse Confetti and I am using this as a New Year's card. When I think about New Year's, I always think about fireworks and these sparkles were perfect for it. And I'm using a fitting sentiment as well. This sentiment is from the Shine and Sparkle sentiment stamp set by Reverse Confetti, and I'm starting by stamping out my sentiment because I want it to be centered perfectly on this card. Now the piece I'm working on is slightly bigger than my card base, or than my card will be, and you'll see why in a little bit. I'm going to die cut this with a cover die, and I just want to make sure that my pattern stamping will go over the edge of my card. Now my card is going to be super colorful, but I want the sentiment to stand out really nicely. So I'm stamping it in Versafine Onyx black ink, which is a really dark black ink. And I am also embossing this with Wow Clear Gloss Superfine Embossing Powder. And this will make it appear even more black and shiny as well. So that's a great bonus. And then I can start with my pattern stamping. I am using these sparkle stamps from the Retro Holidays stamp set, also by Reverse Confetti, but they are usually connected together. This is one big stamp with 3 sparkles usually, but I was a monster and I cut them apart with my scissors. So I really like separate images like this, and I figured I would use them more when I cut them apart. And you can do this if you're careful. I do this a lot with my stamps. I just make sure that I can use my stamps the way I like to use them. Now these are solid stamps and I didn't want to take the time to line them all up in my Misti over and over and over again. So I am stamping those just with an acrylic block, but with solid stamps like this, it's hard usually to get a nice crisp impression. And I am helping myself by putting the insert, the foam insert of the Misti underneath my paper. This foam will allow you to stamp really nicely on your paper. It will just give you a really nice impression because it has a bit of give to it, so you can press into the paper more. And especially with solid stamps, I find it makes a huge difference. So I'm just using 4 colors here. I will list the inks I used in the description below. And then I went in with the outline stamps and some sparkles as well from another Reverse Confetti stamp set. It has elves in it, or fairies in it, but I'm not sure what it's called, so I will make sure to list that in the description as well. And I'm just stamping a bunch of those in embossing ink, clear embossing ink. This is Versamark ink, but any clear embossing ink will do. And I am going to emboss these with silver embossing powder. So this will actually be my embellishments. I'm not going to bother with adding gems to this because the silver of this embossing powder will shine nicely enough. So you can see there that I added a bunch of sparkles to this card. And this embossing powder, by the way, is Wow Metallic Silver embossing powder. It's really bright silver and it shines lovely. Now, of course, before stamping with my embossing ink, I did make sure to prep my cardstock really nicely with an anti-static powder tool. Especially if you have already stamped on the cardstock, that's important because the ink won't be completely dry, the colored ink, and it might grab on to the embossing powder. And to avoid that, you just use some anti-static powder. Now I'm heat setting this on camera. I am trying to do that more these days, but I'm not sure if you can actually see the powder change. I'm just making sure while I'm filming that I can see the powder change, so I don't overheat it. But I'm not sure if it's worth it to show on camera. Let me know in the comments below. Now I'm using the Brilliance cover die by Reverse Confetti to die cut this, and this die cuts it to an A2 size shape, which is handy, but it also leaves these little cutout lines in the design that add a brilliance or a sparkle to it. And I think it adds a lot to this, especially because it leaves my sentiment mostly untouched. So the sentiment is really in the center, and it seems like it or the rays are radiating out from it. Now I also die cut a frame here, and I used that what is it called? The open drop cover panel, also by Reverse Confetti. I'm so bad with product names. Why am I a YouTuber? I layered a bunch of white frames together, I think 4 with the Barely Art Precision Craft Glue, and then I also added a holographic frame because why not? And that's my card already finished. Now for my envelope, I'm being lazy again, and I am using some pattern paper here. I used a really bright yellow. I love yellow when I'm using a lot of colors because it feels like it just goes with everything. And this one also has a bunch of foiled stars on it, which I feel really fits my design of my card. So I'm just folding that with a We Are Memory Keepers 123 punch board, an A2 size envelope, and then I can adhere that together with a Barely Art Precision Craft Glue, and that's my project all finished. A really fun New Year's card. May our holidays sparkle and shine. I love that sentiment, and I love the retro holidays stems that I used here. These sparkles are so fun, and they be a really fun touch to a scene card as well. I hope you like it too. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video and leave your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to read them. As always, you can find all the products I used for this in the description below, and you can also find a link there to the Reverse Confetti blog post that I have about this card. If you want some more information, or if you're just more comfortable reading a blog post than listening to me blabber on in a video. Now, on the screen right now should be a link to a playlist. I will link a playlist from Reverse Confetti for more inspiration. I hope you check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.